If you've ever tossed and turned at night pondering the big questions of the universe, this one might keep you up. What if Rome wasn't just a historical footnote but a living, breathing superpower in today's world? Rome wasn't just any empire. It was a trendsetter, a culture setter, a military behemoth and a stickler for infrastructure. So let's indulge in a little bit of fantasy and explore what our world would look like if the Roman Empire never faded into history. The Colosseum, that iconic symbol of Roman power, could still be standing, not as a crumbling ruin, but as the backdrop of today's global politics. Imagine world leaders instead of gladiators in the center ring. The echoes of Caesar's Forum could still be heard with the Roman Senate at its heart, debating and deciding on laws that shape our world. Instead of the European Parliament, they'd be debating things like supply chain regulation and sustainable fishing practices. And Latin, that ancient tongue, might be the dominant tongue of the world instead of a dead language. You're learning it for your Latin exam. Now it's the most widely spoken language on Earth, tweeted, grammed, and spoken in boardrooms from Wall Street to Silicon Valley. Those iconic legions, they'd be the strongest military force on Earth, period. Upgraded weapons, drones, Apache choppers, laser-guided missiles. They wouldn't raise the iconic cry of Veni, Vidi, Vici, but rather, we came, we saw, we conquered. Art, architecture, and engineering, they'd all reflect a continuous Roman style through the centuries. Skyscrapers might be topped with the traditional Roman numeral for their floor count, and aqueducts could still grace our major cities. Highways might be straight, well-maintained, and have a reassuringly consistent speed limit. Modern technology, the internet, electricity, space travel, all could carry a Roman stamp. Roads would be everywhere, and roads lead to apps. Every device would come with the handy phrase, "I can't believe they made an app for that." And Latin would be the default language for satellites and probes venturing out into the cold expanse of space. Because why not? But perhaps the biggest shift would be in the realm of Christianity. If Rome had a do-over and became today's global superpower, the early Christian narrative might have taken a very different turn. Peter might have been crucified by Nero. Paul might have ended up in the Colosseum instead of writing letters, and Jesus might have had to pull a disappearing act to avoid becoming a Roman folk hero. Religion itself could have taken a very different path. The world map would look unrecognizable. Rome wouldn't just span Europe, it would stretch across multiple continents, controlling key trade routes and strategic resources. The Americas, Africa, and Asia would be linked in a way that we can only imagine. Cultural diversity might take a backseat as the Roman Empire promotes a shared identity and set of values across its vast territories. Or it could be the opposite. The blending of Roman culture with other civilizations could create an explosion of art, music, and literature that's just too fabulous to be ignored. Our world is full of wonders because of the Roman Empire. We have roads, aqueducts, concrete, arches, roads again, and a whole lot more. But the big question is, would an everlasting Rome be the pinnacle of progress or an endless empire of control? This has been your host. Keep thinking.